くぞ。
Hello everyone, what's happening? This is Forgo, and today we're going to talk about Xi'an. And I'm going to try to provide you with some tips on how to play him, maybe the card sets that you can use for him, to try to optimize him the best you can for certain game modes. So let's take a look at Xi'an. So Shion has really impressed me something fierce. I've been using him in Championship ever since it's been opened, which has only been a couple days, but he's proven to be very, very good. Now, the leadership doesn't matter in Championship, but it's still a great leadership. Increase yellow element fighter attack by 45%, power charge rate by 20%. This is an amazing leadership for yellow fighters. You will need yellow attack fighters in the Hell's Dungeon. When you get above tier 40, you'll need a yellow attack team, so he could be a great asset to that team. And as far as his core effects, something I want you to pay attention to is he does get increased damage by 18% on a critical hit. So remember that. He does get a critical rate buff here, so remember that. And then, of course, he gets a decreased target defense by 35% for 5 seconds when attacking a shocked enemy, which is great. He gets a heal. He has shock damage explosion. And then he has the PvP exclusive 70% chance to remove the target's super armor or hyper armor and disable them for 5 seconds upon landing a skill on a target on a 14-second cooldown. This is a very powerful effect, but because it's 70%, it doesn't always take effect. Sometimes you don't get it, and then your skills get interrupted, and then you get screwed. And say you're facing another Shion. Maybe that Shion, this PvP exclusive, enacts, and they take away your super armor from your first skill, and then you're just freaking dead. Because Shion has a lot of damn damage, thanks to this critical damage modifier here. I'm sorry, increased damage modifier, and the shock damage explosion. He just has a lot of power. Plus, he's an attack type fighter. I mean, he has the gain super armor. This is a interrupt skill. It can completely ignore the guard, which is very powerful. And because a lot of players know this, whenever they're playing you, what they try to do is they try to bait you into using that first skill. Only use the first skill when you feel confident that you can land the attack. Do not use it when you're far away. Matter of fact, you really shouldn't do that for most skills. But don't use it when you're far away. You want to try to bait the other opponents to get them to use their hyper armor, to get them to use their super armor skills. And when I'm playing Shion, I really don't rely on that PvP exclusive. What I try to do is I try to bait them to get them to use their super armor or hyper armor skills and then attack afterwards. However, sometimes you don't have much of a choice. Maybe they break your guard. Maybe you need to use the interrupt skill, so that way they don't juggle you around and kick your living crap out of you. So sometimes you don't have much of a choice, but you really want to try to bait your opponents into using their skills first. He has decreased damage received by 75% for 3 seconds. This is a very, very powerful skill. Decreasing damage is awesome, especially by 75%. Plus, he has the decreased defense from his core effect, which is really nice, and deals shock damage equal to 32% of attack to the target every 1 second for 7 seconds. The thing about this skill is similar to the Rock, who has decreased damage received by 70%. This is only for 3 seconds. Once that's gone, he becomes a glass cannon. He can really get destroyed pretty quickly, which is why I'm going to try to provide you with the right card sets to use to make him a lot tankier when you're playing him, especially in PvP. In PvE, you can get away with making him a glass cannon, just make him an attack monster, because you're going to have the awakened skill. You're going to be able to rotate through your skills really often, so you'll be able to keep this decreased damage received by 75% up the whole time while using the awakened skill. So he's going to be a lot tankier. So in PvE, he really doesn't need it, but in PvP, he definitely will need certain card sets to provide him with more survivability. This third skill has the 50% chance to reset the cooldown, also deals shock damage, also increase attack. This is a really cool skill. He throws a stone across the room, which we'll take a look at in a second. And then his striker skill deals shock damage equal to 27% attack to the target every 1 second for 7 seconds. So you can use this guy as a striker in the spider robot, although I think it'd be better to use him as one of your attacking characters in the spider robot. Now let's preview his skills in Championship. And I'm so happy Championship is back just for this reason. Okay, so with all your characters, you want to string your skills together. You want to make sure you're stringing your combos all together. So for Xi'an, you want to start with his first skill, then your second skill, and then the third skill. Now, usually that third skill has a 50% chance to reset the cooldown. If it resets, whenever the opponent is in the air, then you would hit the third skill afterwards again. Because Xi'an's normies, if you watch, will keep them up in the air and you can go back into the third afterwards. So we'll just wait for the third skill to get off cooldown. So it's 1, 2, 3, normies, and then it'd be the 3 again if it reset. And that's how you want to string his attacks together. Now, you can also guard cancel with Shion. Now, I've just recently been practicing. We'll see if I can pull it off. But when you're guard canceling this guy, what you want to do is you want to tap your attack button 3 times and then hit your guard. So, just like that. Whoops. Just like that. I kind of messed up a little bit. But you want to tap the attack button 3 times and then hit the guard. Just like that. That's how you guard cancel with this guy. So the attack button 3 times and then hit the guard cancel. This is actually really good when the character is up in the air. See? But it's really difficult to do. It's something that I need to practice myself. But I normally don't try to guard cancel in the middle of a fight. I find it kind of cheesy. I don't really like doing it. But that's how you guard cancel with the guy as well. And I really should have put his damn special card on here. So let me go ahead and slap that on him really quick. So his 3 PG is freaking awesome. This attack can reach anybody in the screen at any given moment. We'll just slap the 5 PG on for the hell of it. All right, let's see if we can do this again. So 1, 2, and of course the third skill didn't reset. That's kind of the bad thing about having a 50% chance to reset cooldown. It doesn't always reset, which is kind of a bummer. Okay, so now we have our 3 PG off, and this 3 PG is amazing. You know, no matter where you're at in the screen, you can hit that sucker, and you're going to hit your opponent. It doesn't matter where you are. It's an amazing skill. Now, the special that he has, and you see what I'm doing here. You can pretty much almost do an infinite combo with this guy. Now his third skill, or I'm sorry, his special skill is a little bit different. You know, if you're far away and you hit that special skill, you're not going to hit them, which sucks. So you got to make sure that you're close to the opponents whenever you're using them. Just like so. See how this works out? You pretty much do almost an infinite combo. He's pretty insane, actually. So now we'll do the special. Now, when you're up close, you can do your special, and you'll actually get that attack. Just like so. Now, this skill can actually be fairly easily dodged, and that's kind of the bad thing. So it's really nice if you have Xion's 3 PG skill, because that skill can hit anybody anywhere in the screen. It's just way better. And like I said, when you're playing Xi'an, you want to bait your opponents. You want you to get your opponents to use their hyper armor, their super armor skills, so you can do damage to them. Don't rely on that 70% chance to remove hyper armor and super armor. If you do, you'll find that could cost you the match at times. Now, as far as card sets, we're going to go in the cards here. Here we go. Okay, so you can build Xi'an a couple different ways. You can make him a major cannon, or you can give him a lot more defenses to where he's going to do better. Now, since he's an attack type fighter, you don't really want to use these defensive sets like the Chaos set or the Mr. Big set or the Kula set. I'm going to focus mainly on Fest sets, but you really don't want to use these sets for him. He's not really going to benefit from it because he has low defensive stats to begin with. Plus, he does no attack buffs based off defenses, so he really doesn't benefit. Usually, balance type fighters and defensive fighters benefit more from these sets. The Noah set is an amazing set to make him a massive cannon, because all these cards have extra attack. You have, the high CP, of course, because it's a Fest set. You get the extra attack here, and you do get the super armor, which is nice, 50% chance to gain super armor for 3 seconds. But he already has super armor on his first skill. However, it would be nice because say they remove your hyper armor, right? Say you're facing another Xi'an, or you're facing a Adelheid that removes your hyper armor, super armor, or a mature. Well, maybe you could get the super armor afterwards by using one of your other skills. So it still could be useful, but it would make him more of a cannon, which I wouldn't suggest for PvP. For PvE, absolutely. Noah set would be amazing for him in PvE. Then you have this set here, the Ein set. This is probably the worst set. But something to keep in mind about Shion is he decreases the target's defenses by 35%. And having this extra increased penetration would actually be really good, because what penetration does is you take the defensive stats of a character, you minus it by 800, and that's what the actual defensive stats that the character has that you're facing. Plus, it will decrease damage received by 20% for 3 seconds upon using a skill, which is great. Every time you use a skill, you're going to decrease damage received by 20%. This is actually a decent set. He has a 50% chance to gain super armor for 1 second. It's a decent set. Not the best set in my opinion, because each of these cards, one offers attack, then you got defense and HP, but it's still a decent set for him. A Fest set is always going to be a good set for him. The Ryugo set here is by far and away the best PvP set for any character in Championship. When you're running Championship, this is the best set. It's just because it offers all the extra attack stats from each card. It offers a 20% increase in your HP. It offers the Ignore Guard. And even though Shion has Ignore Guard on his first skill, 100% chance, it's still good to have this because maybe one of your other skills could break their guard. It just makes him even more versatile, plus increasing his HP and decreasing the target's attack by 20%, which means you are internally weakening your opponents. So you're increasing your HP, you're weakening your opponents. This is the way to go right here, in my opinion, for PvP. Easily. Then you have this set right here. Now, there's a reason I said earlier to pay attention to those critical rate modifiers for Shion, them damage multipliers. When you land a critical hit, you get 18% extra damage from his core effect. Plus, he has extra critical rate. He has a 3.2% extra critical rate in his core effect. This set actually would be really good for him, because, I know that this offers attack, defense, and critical rate, right? But you're going to get extra critical rate. So he's going to have 6.7% critical rate. But the thing is, he's going to get, all this extra attack, right? But he's going to get the extra damage by 70% upon landing a critical hit. So when you do a critical hit, you're going to get the 70% damage, but you're also going to get the 18% damage from his core effect. That's 88% additional damage. And he's going to get the 30% chance to gain super armor for 2 seconds when receiving a critical hit. So when he receives a critical hit, he's not going to be very tanky with this set, but when he receives a critical hit, if he has 30% chance of getting that super armor, if he gets it, they won't be able to keep comboing him. Now, the bad thing about this is, because he's not decreasing damage received really, if you have the second skill up and you got the decreased damage received by 75%, it could come in very, very handy. So maybe like when the super armor engages, you could hit the second skill to try to decrease damage received so you don't die. But if you have that super armor and they don't have their special skill or ultimate skill, they won't be able to interrupt your skills. Maybe you could go back into one of your other skills. Because if you're getting juggled up in the air, your first skill, you can't use it. You won't be able to interrupt. You have to be standing or in a standing stance to be able to use that skill. So this could be a very good set. Definitely a good set for him for PvE. This is an amazing set. It would be okay for PvP, but again, it's always going to be the Ryugo. Then you have the Akane set. This set's actually pretty interesting because it does offer extra attack for each card, which is amazing. And plus, he has increased attack by 12%. This is a great set because it's going to give him all that extra attack. That's going to synergize really well with Xi'an because he deals a lot of damage. And then you got the 30% chance to deal extra damage equal to 150% of attack upon landing an active skill. Becomes immune to damage for 2 seconds if HP is 1% or less. So the thing is, he will be a glass cannon with this set. However, Xi'an does amazing combos, and he can pretty much do almost infinite combos, as you guys just saw a little bit ago. So this set would actually be really good. If they're not juggling you in the air, when this immunity enacts, then you'll be able to use your first skill, you'll still be able to decrease damage received with the second skill, and maybe have the comeback set, maybe have the comeback kill, because you're going to have all this extra damage. This set actually be pretty decent on, because again, he does have super armor. So I think this is actually a really good set. So in my opinion, I think the Ryugo #1 for PvP. I would probably go with the Akane for the second PvP choice, to be perfectly honest. And then when it comes to PvE, I think the Akane would probably be #1, that extra 150% attack. Or maybe even the Shine set here would be really awesome. And I think the Ein set would actually be last, to be perfectly honest. The Noah set would be amazing. But I really think that the Akane and the Shine set would be better for PvE. You're just getting all that extra damage. However, the Noah set. So Ryugo #1 for PvP, Akane #2. For PvE, I think the Akane, then maybe the Shine, then maybe the Noah. But you could make an argument about the Noah set, to be perfectly honest. It's actually tough to judge without testing, but those are my tips to playing Xi'an and to using him. So as far as my thoughts about Xi'an, he is a very, very strong character. I don't think he's top tier because, again, with the 70% chance to remove hyper armor, if it was a 100% chance, he would be top tier easily. But he is a very, very strong character. Very good counter, especially for purple characters, because he is a yellow fighter. So he gets native decreased damage received from them. I do think he's very strong. SS tier, I don't think he's triple S tier. I don't think he's on the level of Pretty Big or Guinness or John Cena. I just don't think he's there. But he is one damn strong character and definitely a force to be reckoned with. So let me know how you're all feeling about Xi'an, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one.